Hey guys, if you're a fan of Indian basketball, then subscribe to this channel and don't forget to press the bell icon.
I think we are going to start on behalf of IBPA, the unique association of Indian basketball players and the basketball fans portal. We welcome you all for the second edition of the Basketball Week Conclave. Today we have an exclusive panel of women basketball players and special guests. As we announced, today we are dedicating this evening, this program in memory of late Sri Rajesh Patel, who is a renowned basketball coach who has produced more than 100 basketball international players. Yeah. Over to Seema.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. So this is a time for dedication. Please dedicate your coach. Today we are dedicating, as informed, in memory of late Sri Rajesh Patel. Over to you. Can we have a dedication? आप हिंदी में बोल सकता है? Whatever you say. बोलिए.
हिंदी में.
अच्छा ठीक है. So over to you.
Hello.
आपका कोच से Shashmikant, please take over.
Yeah, hi Seema. थैंक यू ये ज्वाइन करने के लिए और हम आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे आप थोड़ा सा कैमरा में आ जाइए ताकि आपका फेस प्रॉपर्ली आ पाए. तो आपके जो कोच थे राजेश पटेल और सब रिनाउंड बास्केटबॉल कोच थे, तो उनके बारे में दो शब्द आप कुछ बता पाए. अच्छा.
हमारे आज मैं भी जो भी हूँ बास्केटबॉल की बहुत अच्छी प्लेयर, वो मेरे कोच के ही बदौलत हूँ जो भी है. और हमारे कोच ने गरीब बच्चों का बहुत भविष्य बनाया है.
And she was just telling that Mr. Rajesh Patel was particularly working for the underprivileged players and from the villages and other people. And getting players from the village is something very unique. And he was working for development of the game, and he had produced more players who had represented the country. It's a very apt that IBPA and Indian basketball fans are dedicating this evening's program. I think the dedication to Mr. Rajesh Patel. And I wish Jayashankar, you can just take over and then you can just ask Seema if she's connected again.
Our guest from the former WNBA basketball player. He has played as forward for WNBA team Minnesota Lynx for 6 years. And in 2008, he played for Connecticut Sun. She was also the coach of Indian basketball team for women team at the Asian Games at Guangzhou. I have great pleasure to introduce Tamika, and over to Tamika for your opening remarks.
Hello, India. Good morning from America.
Yeah.
How are you? I want to thank IBPA and all the Indian basketball fans. I miss you guys so much. I talk about India all the time. What an experience it was to enjoy basketball in India, to enjoy your culture and how nice the people were. I always talk about that coming back here. I can't believe it's been 10 years. What a joy. But I want to thank you for having me on here. I want to thank everybody on this panel for being passionate about basketball, being passionate about growing your sport in your country, and to see so many Indian basketball players, both on the men and women's side, over here playing, making it to the pros, playing over here, having a lot of success has been amazing. So I just want to thank you guys for continuing that 10 years later. And there were not this many people involved 10 years ago. So to see so many faces and so many, I'm flipping through everything. It's really a joy. And that's all a credit to you guys, putting in the hard work, learning the game and growing it. So I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm here for whatever you need. I would come back to India anytime. I miss the food. I miss the people. I miss the smiling faces. You guys are beautiful. Thank you and good luck in your journey.
Thank you, Tamika. A few questions. Only Neetu could tap the doors of WNBA. According to you, what we are lacking? The Indian team, what we are lacking?
I would say, because we had Geetu over here, the only thing I would say that's lacking to a certain degree is probably the strength. Players are bigger and you have the size, but the actual strength, the physicality of the game has grown. So that would be one thing I would definitely say. The speed of the game has gotten faster. 10 years ago, we were in the 50s and 60s in points. And, I coach a team, it's nothing for us to score 70, 80 points a game. So the actual speed of the game, we're telling our players to get down the floor in 5-6 seconds. So that's a number to keep in your head. We actually keep a time clock. As soon as we get the ball out the rim, whether we have to inbound it or we're progressing the ball up the floor, we give them about 5 to 6 seconds. That's the post players have to get from rim to rim in 4 seconds. So we want to get into our initial action in 5 to 6 seconds. So that's how fast the game is going. So if there's one thing, I would say the strength of the game. The second thing, I would say the speed of the game. 10 years ago, I would say how you play the game, but I think the basketball IQ has definitely gone up. So that would be something else. The last thing would say the shooting. You have to be an exceptional shooter now because we shoot a lot more threes, even since I've left India. So the speed of the game, the strength of the game are probably two primary things, but we shoot a lot. I mean, our kids shoot 1,000 shots every other day. They put up a lot of shots. So the dedication to shooting.
Great. Bala, you have any question to Tamika?
And it just went on to play for the WNBA. And then you coached the Indian basketball team. Now you told me what are the things which we are lacking. And you've been coaching some university side. So the university which you are just coaching, there is a league, professional league is going on. And what is the difference in coaching the Indian girls and there in your? And you have already told us that the strength and speed which we are supposed to improve, and with a professional personal training, we'll be able to improve. What exactly Indian girls?
So you're saying what is the difference between coaching the college girls I coach now and the Indian basketball team?
Yes, and do you feel the potential available in India?
Oh, to be pros in India?
Potential.
Absolutely there's potential because there's dedication to the game now in India. I think that like I said, there was not a panel of this size 10 years ago. So absolutely, because the one thing you have is size. I know there's been talk about, there's a couple young players you have now that I've been hearing about at the collegiate level here in the States. So is there potential? Absolutely. I think you will see more Indian young women coming over to play. The big thing is if they could come over for university. That would really, really help. Very smart, very tall. You have the length here. You have the athleticism. So I think that would be a big push, is to get some players over into university in the States here. That will really help to push the potential of you having pros, because they'll be able to come back and teach, because that's where our kids, our young women learn how to play at the speed. That's where they learn how to become very strong. That's how they learn how to shoot the ball, and their skill set is big in college, in the university level here. And I think trying to skip that and go straight to the pros is going to be a little bit difficult.
Lakshmikant, do you have a quick question?
Yeah, good evening, Tamika from India, and good morning for America. My question to you is, you coach Indian team in Asian Games, so please tell us about your experience during that time.
And I couldn't hear his question. What did he say?
I just said that you coached Indian women's team in Asian Games, and what would you like to say about that team? And I hope you're observing the current Indian women's basketball team performance as well.
That team was amazing. We had a good time. Just traveling, practicing. at a certain level, and we did a lot of conditioning. We were able to do some different stuff, whether it was body weight. We found an old gym. They would get upset at me. They were mad because I make them do core work and strength, and they didn't want to get too big. So that was funny, but it was a great experience. And it was very different for me because in the States, all the young women who play basketball here want to get stronger. They want to get faster. You know, they don't care. They'll lift weights. They'll do whatever it takes to be a pro. And when I was there, I got a little bit of a pushback, but then they started to see it, you know, kind of pay off and bought into it. So it was a great experience. It was a learning experience for me. It was very different in that the players are, our players here have a certain progression. You know, we go to high school, we go to college, and some people have families, or they were about to have families, or they were playing, or, you know, working. So that was a little bit different, but it was a great experience that I wouldn't trade in. And I think Neetu actually got a tryout in the WNBA after that. So that was really cool to see.
Thank you, Tamika. Please stay back. I'm sure the youngsters may have few questions for you. You can have a coffee and come back if you want. I know that's very morning. Maybe you can have a quick break and join back. Now, it is time for me to welcome the special guest for today. That is none other than Neetu Chandra. She's an actor. She's an actor, appeared in more than 25 films. She's also a producer. But today, I'm not going to introduce her as an actress. She is a sports lady. She has represented India in the World Taekwondo Championship. She is a black belt Taekwondo champion. She has 4th Dan in black belt. I've seen her playing basketball when she used to come in Mumbai YMCA. I mean, I'm talking about Andheri YMCA. We have played games. She's so active, so crisp, and she's also a brand ambassador for Teen Cancer America. Also, since she's from Patna, she supported Patna Pirates in the Kabaddi League. Very happy to have Neetu here. Can we have your remarks of joining today evening?
Thank you, Jayashankar sir. Thank you to IBPA and Indian Basketball Fans Association for inviting me and having me here. It is such a pleasure to be here with all these dignitaries who have been in basketball for such a long time. And thank you, Tamika, if she's around. Is she around?
Yeah, she's around.
Yeah.
Tamika,
thank you so much for sharing it. It was great hearing you because I've been a traveler and I am based out of Los Angeles right now. So I exactly understand what you say when you say that speed and the strength and the the power of the girls are very important, because the body physicality and how you condition your body for preparing for the game is very important, is what I understand. And I have been playing basketball since I don't even remember. So I think 3rd or 4th standard. And for me, basketball is the base of my personality and the base of my, lot of credit goes to me being an actor to basketball. And I am very proud of the fact that I am a basketball player first, which few people asked the question, why you introducing an actor, in the group. So I think Jayashankar sir really answered that she's a basketball player too. But more than that, I'll tell you that I'm very happy these kind of panels, especially where women inspire men and women both, is very, very important, because it really doesn't matter you are a woman or a man. You are a sports person first who inspires people to come and get to play more and more. So I totally understand and really, resonate with what Tamika had to say. And I'm very proud of the fact that she likes the team. And you came 10 years back, please come back again. And, you will find a different environment to get all together today. And you're most welcome. We'll be waiting for you.
Thank you, Neetu. And you are one of the, you have promoted NBA when it launched in India. And yeah. I've seen your clipping. You have played some exhibition matches in USA. Can you share the experience there?
Yeah, when NBA came to India, I think with Troy Justice, I think I was the, from the film industry, I was the only one who was just standing and trying to, because I thought that NBA was a light of hope for basketball players to go ahead and make a career in basketball, because since especially in India, when Tamika was saying that girls there in the US or any part of the world, they are trying to gain strength and gain speed by doing weight training and this and all of it. I just want to tell you guys that how we as culturally parents think that girls picking up weight, there will be muscles, and then the girls turn out like tomboyish and all of it, which is a part of the culture. But when you physically educate yourself, you understand that is a very, very important part of it. So when NBA started, I started associating with NBA, promoting NBA basketball in India in a big way, because this was the reason that I consider basketball as a family game. I feel that in a family, if there is if coordination, cooperation, respect, and knowing each other is well, then the family goes really well, or it collapses. Same with the team game. In basketball, if the coordination, cooperation, understanding, and respect for each other is there, then team is really, really successful. As far as I am concerned, now I'm based out of Los Angeles. I think few of you know this, because I'm doing some projects there. So there was this there's this NGO which is doing really, really well for cancer patients. So I've been associated with Cancer Patients AIDS Association in India for the past 9 years. And I've been working for cancer patients. And when I went to LA, the extension was that I was announced as the brand ambassador for Teen Cancer American Association in Los Angeles. And when there was a celebrity match between Floyd Mayweather and Snoop Dogg's team, I played from Floyd Mayweather's team last year in July. And, I think Jayashankar sir has already shared the articles and all of it to say, but the experience was so great because everybody was somebody there, but literally nobody was above basketball there. I would tell you that. That was such a great feeling because nobody really cared who was what. They were only worried and only focused on how you grow basketball, how you, regardless of these big names like undefeated boxer, Floyd Mayweather or Snoop Dogg, nobody was putting their weight saying, oh, I am this and I am that. So the best part was the experience was so fantastic. The positive vibe, never giving up attitude, just go do it and we have to make it happen. We have to promote this was the attitude which I always love about, a sport. And this experience was great because, I saw Floyd Mayweather was playing with me, passing the ball to him. He was shooting. He's a good basketball player, by the way, guys. You don't know that. Not only a boxer. And even Snoop Dogg was trying to hit some shots where he was really bad. So that I will tell you. So my experience is really, really good. I had a great time playing basketball there. Since basketball is meditation for me, on that court, I didn't see any Indian even around, not only in the game, or there was no Indians around. So I was like, oh, you have to be here to, see this and experience it. And sometimes, I also go to Staples Center to watch the games. And, I shared some videos and pictures also. And with Lakers playing or other teams playing, even though our big man is in Lakers right now, we're just looking ahead and experiencing the whole thing, the whole environment. I personally feel that, financially also, when I was telling Jayashankar sir also, when in the Staples Center, the whole stadium, like the whole court and the whole indoor stadium was full because there's so many fans with such great players and the performances. So it's not only about playing, it will generate more jobs and revenues and financial, it could be a job creating tool for a lot of us if we really support and promote basketball united.
Thank you, Neetu, for sharing your experience. I'm sure you will join us as ambassador for IBPA also. We have one more our advisor of IBPA from film family, That is none other than Sandeep Marwa. He's with us. Please share your views, a quick view from our advisor, Sandeep Marwa. He's from a film family. He will introduce himself, please.
Thank you very much, Jayashankar. Thank you, Bala, for inviting me. I'm so happy, so excited to be back again. Hi, Neetu. I've seen you for a long time. My dear friend. I'm so happy. Neetu is already on the board of Asian Academy of Film and Television, and she's been there many times on my request.
Of course.
Yes. What a pleasure to be here. I'm recollecting the first day. How can I forget that I've been a founder member of IBPA, and this organization has been created in Marwa Studios, and this the first major meeting was also happened in Marwa Studios. We created the first students club also at Asian Academy of Film and Television a few years back when IBPA was created, and I'm happy that basketball club is still running very efficiently at Marwa Studios. My all support. I still remember the first news of IBPA launching was also being created from Marwa Studios, and now only thing is that I will request Jayashankar and Bala to please involve me as much as you can. I'm looking for more involvement. You know that I'm associated with large number of organizations. It's only I need little tapping from the presidents and the prime people of the organizations, and I am with you all the time.
Thank you so much for all the encouragement and support.
Sir, I'm always with you.
Thank you. And Aparna, I just got a message from one of the panelists, Aparna Ghosh. I know that in Calcutta, I'm happy that Lashmi Kant is here, but Calcutta is having an issue with network. She is unable to join this time. And we have another panelist, incidentally my wife, so it's not fair from my side to introduce her. So over to Bala. Please introduce the panelist.
Welcome Neetu and Mr. Sandeep Marwa, and I would like to just introduce one more panelist, Prasanna Jayashankar. I was just telling that she used to just play basketball back in 1980s, and she went on to play for the Indian team, and she was a basketball coach at the men's circuit in India. And I'm proud to just introduce Prasanna Jayashankar. No one has to just be introduced. She is wife of Jayashankar. Prasanna, can you just take over? And then I'm Kerala, and where basketball is something which is quite common, and every school and college they play basketball. How do you think your thing? And how did you manage the men's team as a coach? And what sort of a strength and speed, what Tamika and Neetu were just telling. How did you manage to just bring strength and speed with the men players? Can you just share your experience?
Hello, good evening, and thank you for the great honor, and thank you for Tamika. I had a great experience with Tamika in 2010, the 2 months, which I'll never forget it. I learned a lot of things, as she put it across correctly, that strength and speed. She was insisting throughout the camp these two things, and the way she tackled things the 2 months, and she was able to analyze each and every player and what their strength and what they have to improve. The 2 months I had a great experience with her, and I learned a lot of basketball from her. I really miss her because last 10 years what experience I had with her is real missing. As Neetu said correctly, that the strength and speed, that is more important in basketball, and we players have improved that to develop if you want to come up and develop the game, if you want to improve the game, we have to concentrate these two things. And Bala told me this, the coaching the men's team. It's altogether like totally a different experience I had when I was with the UBA. So initially I was a little nervous, and because I was only coached the women's team and had only experience with the ladies. So all of a sudden when I was nominated the coach for the men's team, it's totally different. So I asked my players whether they have any problem to coach by a lady. That's the first thing that I went and asked all my players after selecting the team. And when I asked the boys to assemble, I had the first question which I asked them: "Do you have any problem by coaching by a lady coach?" They said no. So the strength I think mentally and physically, what support they have given me, that only made us to win the championship 2003 season 3 in UBA. So all the players are very. I was comfortable with them. They were comfortable with me, and we have made a very good. It's a teamwork, and in fact, I don't think. In fact, it's easy to coach men's than the ladies team. I felt it because they are able to understand. It's very difficult. Ladies, when we coach the team, especially the men's team, when you coach, they listen to they listen to the coach because maybe they want to give respect to ladies that the ladies are making. But I enjoyed each and every moment when I was in UPA. It's a great experience for me.
Thank you, Prasanna ma'am.
The family of basketball players, and most of the basketball players in their family I must have played. Muralinath was an international. Premnath, uncle, is an international player. Mr. Gopinath is an international player, and mother also is an Indian railways player. Apporva went on to play for the Indian team, and she was a power forward. Now she's coaching professional basketball college team in USA. Apporva, can you just tell more about you?
Sure. Hi guys, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Colorful and audible.
Thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure and honor to even get recognized and be part of this beautiful the e-conclave. So as to be honest, everything that I wanted to say, it's already out there, the importance of strength and conditioning. I actually moved to the US. I had an opportunity to come here before 3 years. I'm a professional basketball player. And after I moved here, I understood what were we actually lacking. So I understood how important was strength and conditioning, right? We do not talk about it at all. With the Southern Railway team, Prasanna Jayashankar ma'am as our coach, she used to actually encourage us to lift weight more, and she asked us to do a lot of things. So I moved here, and then I did my certification in strength and conditioning. Right now I'm a certified coach. So I also coach at Dean College. I'm assistant basketball coach there, but I also do strength and conditioning. So I handle the strength and conditioning of the whole college team right here. So it's a huge part, right? It's more than what we think it is. It's not just about becoming big and strong, but also you get a different level of confidence when you are so strong inside the court. And actually, not just physically, but also mentally, it actually helps you get really better. It takes you into a different level, right? Once you know you're strong, no matter who you're playing against, it's going to be a different game altogether. So like I said, it's been a great experience. I've been learning a lot of different things. I've been exposed to a lot of different things in the US. I coach the AAU league. I do summer camps. I understand how basketball is taught at the grassroots level here, and how kids pick it up at a very young age, and how they are interested, and how they get exposed in a very young age to different school, colleges, AAU leagues. They have private leagues here. They have so many things going on that the kids are constantly engaged in whatever they're doing. So the exposure and the experience is very high when in a very young age. So I think we should start young too. We should have more leagues. We should have when I say leagues, I'm not talking about professional leagues. I'm talking about even amateur leagues, small tournaments conducted in between 5th grade, 6th grade kids, so that they get encouraged to get into the next level. So, yeah.
And being strong and having strength, you can avoid injuries. You the stress here as you go take the discussion forward, so that the people will be professional. Those who are listening to you are a lot of girls and coaches in India are watching or rather participating in this. Really avoid the injuries, or if there is any injury, you can just come back with a quick rehabilitation exercises.
I only heard half of the question, but I would try and manage and answer it.
Okay.
So when I came to the US, I understood that whatever I'm going to do here, I'm going to do it the right way. So I sat down, I thought myself. So I actually went to go ahead and do the certification. when I did the certification is when I learned a lot more about it. It is not just the physical aspect of it. It's not just about injury. It's not about just being strong. It's how you develop an athlete. You talk about nutrition, you talk about mindset. You have to tell them how important sleep is. You have to tell them how off-season training is. All this will actually will develop an athlete. So we're not just talking about monthly or seasonally training. It's a package. It's a package deal that an athlete itself will have to incorporate in their training session. You have to as an athlete, you have to educate yourself enough to know what to eat, how to eat, how important sleep is, and how important your mental health is when it comes to playing any sport.
Yeah, Lakshmikant, do you have a question? Any question to Apporva?
Yeah. Good evening, Apporva from India, and good morning from America. My question to you is, you are the core member of you're the core part of Indian women's team previously, and right now you are the coach. So, what are the things did you observe as a player and a coach? As a player, there are lots of relief, but as a coach, you have to think a lot of stuff. So, please tell us about the difference between the player and coach.
For me, to be honest, it was a huge transition, right? So from going from a player to a coach was I thought it was going to be easy, right? I thought it was an easy job, whereas it's not. Like I said, the whole transition was a very new experience for me. I learned a lot of things, and I learned it at a different place. I played basketball in India, then I learned coaching in the US. When I initially came here, I had a chance to go to New York. So that's where I met Troy Justice. And he guided me. He said, I know you wanted to become a coach. So what other way than learning things here? Spend a little time, a year or two in learning things, do certification. I have certification in strength and conditioning, in nutrition, and also probably on how to teach and how, there are different way of teaching. It's not just, telling stuff. Sometimes people learn in different ways. And I am slowly understanding different methods of teaching different things. There's visual learners, there's, people who learn in different ways. So once you understand how to teach, when I say teaching, it doesn't mean that you stop learning, right? You have to keep yourself educated enough. You have to keep yourself evolved so that you know what's happening in the field currently, so that you are in a place to teach it to the upcoming generation, right? So when you teach something, you have to learn it yourself. And I'm still work under process. I'm learning a lot of things. I'm really happy that I have this opportunity to come here and learn a lot of things in my field.
Yeah, one question from my side, Apporva. You are introduced as from the basketball family. We all know that your father and mother are very good basketball players. So what quality you learn from them first?
To be grounded, no matter where you go, just make sure that you are grounded. You have to know that where you come from, to stick to your core values. My dad has always told me about giving back to the community. He's like, you have to, it's okay, you want to go and learn at different places, but make sure you come back and you teach. For him, I've always seen him teach kids. You guys spoke about Rajesh Patel, sir. I honor him a lot because he's someone who took kids from underprivileged kids and taught them a lot of things. And my dad back at home more or less does the same thing. He even my old used shoes, he will take those shoes, he'll collect them and he'll go and give it to people who are who won't be able to afford those shoes. I learned a lot of things, especially from my family, on how to keep your core values and not give away that.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir. Rajesh Patel's son Rohit is here right now.
Yeah. So can we have Rohit dedicating his response on today's evening program? Rohit, can we have?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, hello, good evening. Thank Menon sir to give this opportunity and dedicating this e-conclave to my father. My name is Rohit Patel, and I have assisted him since last 6 years, and I have learned a lot of things from him. Actually, his concept was very clear that he always used to say that I have to do something for poor girls so that they can achieve and become something in their lives, and that was his core value. That was his main aim, and he was working on admission. And he always believed that our Indian society doesn't give much respect and importance to those poor girls which they deserve. And as you all know about him, I don't have to tell much about him because you all know who he was and what he did. But as Menon sir invited me on this platform, I would like to thank Bhalai Steel Plant, where he worked as senior manager and retired, and Bhalai Engineering Corporation, Mr. Rajiv Jain, who is the president of Chhattisgarh Basketball Association, and all the Chhattisgarh Basketball Association members who gave full support to him. Because of that, he was able to achieve these milestones. And especially, I would like to give a special thanks to my mom, Anita Patel, who is presently General Secretary of Chhattisgarh Basketball Association. She has sacrificed a lot for my dad's dream. And I guess someone rightly said that behind every successful man there is a woman. And I hope his work will inspire a lot to Indian basketball family and coaches and players, so that our basketball will give our basketball raise our standard in all over the world. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Rohit. I know that you are following your father's footstep. You are coaching at the Rajesh Patel Sports Complex, dedicated by Chhattisgarh government. Keep up the good work of your dad. We are all there, and thank you for joining us. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Now, before we go to Kushwinta, women basketball promotion, what is doing, we have our treasurer of IBPA, Ashok Pandit is with us. So I request him to share his remembrance on Rajesh Patel. Over to Ashok. Unmute, please unmute. And the treasurer of IBPA. Over to Ashok. Please share the good moments you had with Rajesh Patel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you, Jayashankar, and thank you, IBPA, to interact with you. I have a small experience with Rajesh Patel because Rajesh Patel was with me in many occasions when there is a national championship juniors. First, we met in Pondicherry, and in many other. He used to play with us when I was in playing. He plays for MP State Basketball, and we met in many occasions as a coach. When I was in the Delhi team, women coach in Pondicherry. We played in Anandpur. We played in the final match. He was very dedicated towards the basketball, and we used to take his team early in the morning and going for practice 4 o'clock, 3:30 and all. But amazing guy, because my heartfelt salute to him for his dedication toward basketball. He is a great promoter of basketball, and he promote very youngsters from the poor family from this Chhattisgarh, and they are rising the top of the basketball in the women team nowadays. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashok. And I think I missed one agenda. Co-moderator, Sri Balakrishnan, who is an international basketball player, and he was a banker. I'm using the word was because yesterday he got retired as the general manager of Indian Overseas Bank. It is a rare opportunity for a sportsman heading the general manager post. And on behalf of IBPA, I take this opportunity on behalf of everyone present here, wishing you a very happy and healthy retired life. And I'm sure you spare more time to join us, and you'll be doing the lead role in future. Over to Bala and to talk on, take Kushwinta. Then we'll go for general discussion. Over to Bala.
I decided to grow from 60 to 59, 59 to 58. Am I audible, Lakshmi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah. So I'm trying to just grow younger. So don't tell me that I'm retired. Maybe I'll be concentrating more on basketball and strength training. And since I'm a trainer, maybe I'll just give more back to the basketball and to the fitness. Thank you so much. We will discuss more about the basketball, particularly. The conditioning exercises can be done even when we are having this COVID conditions where lockdown is there. And with the body weight, with the self body weight, you'll be able to just do a lot of conditioning. And those things can be discussed by Tamika or some other coaches who are there in this sport. And Jay, you can just give this opportunity to Mr. Kushwinta, who's been doing a yeoman service for the village basketball. Jay, you can introduce Kushwinta.
Yeah, we have amongst us He's an IBPA member, a former international and a former ONGC basketball player, none other than Kushwinder, we call Kushi. Myself and Bala had gone along with him. This man goes from Delhi to a remote village, Anupsha, in Uttar Pradesh. He travels almost 80 to 90, almost 100 kilometers in the weekends, go there and take classes for girls. We have experienced that, and over to Kushi. Please share your experience.
Thank you, Bala. Thank you, Jay, for giving me this opportunity to talk about IBPA and what we are doing. Under IBPA, we have adopted a village. It's like 125 kilometers from Delhi. It takes me 3 hours, so I go every weekend. And we go to each and every village and try and do a race on a Sunday morning. And from there, we identify kids, especially girls. And then we go and meet their parents. We speak to them. And they are really from very poor backgrounds. So we help them with education, we help them with food, clothes, shoes, everything. So, and we are doing very well. Some of my girls are now playing for UP team. Few of my girls are now playing for Metri College. And it's been a great, and thanks to all the IBPA people, Uki Bhola and everybody, Ashokji, everybody keeps coming there. We organize a tournament every year. So this time almost 7-8 people from IBPA core team was there. And it's been a good journey teaching these underprivileged kids. And I feel there's so much of potential in Indian girls. And all I tell them is, you'll win all the matches, just develop on your stamina. And in fact, we have come to Delhi, we have defeated DPS, Mother International School, GD Goenka. We won one of the championships out here, defeating all the good schools. So I feel there's a huge potential in these underprivileged girls who really who have all the time just to play and study. Whereas girls in Delhi and metros have a lot of other things. They go on WhatsApp, internet, and no good pollution. So I feel there's a lot of scope in villages, and that's where we are working with IBPA. Thank you.
Thank you, Kushi, for sharing. And over to Bala, the moderator for general discussion. Over to Bala. What's your advice for these coaches like Coach Pavi is here, and there are many youngsters who wants to take up sports. And what is your advice for the budding coaches of India?
The budding coaches of India, what I would say is try to learn and soak in as much knowledge as you possibly can. Now that you have access to the NBA, if you're coaching, you can learn a lot. I mean, Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. He talked a lot about, he came and watched the WNBA almost every game. He would tell you, I learned more from watching women's basketball than I do for men's basketball. So watch everything. I watch the NBA. I watch our minor league, our G League. I watch men's college basketball. Because of the internet, you can watch a lot of basketball. So that's one way to learn. Also bringing people in with certain knowledge. You can always call me. If you get my contact, you can always call me. I still coach. I coach at Ohio State University, one of the largest universities here in America. So I still coach a very high caliber basketball. Watch as much as you can when the NBA's there, when you guys have leagues. If you can have a lot of clinics. I'm from a very small town, all right? Jefferson Township, Ohio. And a lot of people would come and teach me basketball when I was very young. I'm not from a big major city. So grassroots, teach as many people as you can, get as many people involved. You don't have to play to love the game and coach it. So that would be something I would say to the young coaches. Have your own clinics. Go out and teach the game. The only way you'll learn it is to teach it. And then watch as much as you possibly can. And if you need to call me about it, I'll send you plays. I'll send you drills. I'll send you ideas on how to track stuff. I mean, I can send you a lot of stuff, but that would be my advice.
Great. We had a NBA exhibition game in Mumbai. When we are going to have a WNBA game in India?
Hey, we can make that happen. I'll call up there and make that happen. They would love to come over, especially with coronavirus going on right now. A lot of them are down, and they could definitely come in fall or early spring when they're transitioning from basketball. But there's a lot of newly retired WNBA players who've played in the Olympic Games, who are Hall of Famers, who I would think would be very advantageous to bring over to India to teach.
So you have to have great players. You have to have great. As NBA came to India and they started coaching the coaches and all of it, which was the great idea. And I really agree with Tamika on this, that you should watch a lot of games today with internet and everything possible, with everyone having it at home. I think it'll everybody would agree with me that if you have a great game and you have the facilities, you have that kind of opportunity, that kind of stadium, I don't want to say anything which is it should not be a I just want to filter a few things to say straight away right now, but the lack of facilities and everything which we we lack here is one of the most important aspect of this glamour so-called which Jayashankar sir you are saying, because we cannot compare the Staples Center facility or the look or the whole thing, which we don't have it in India. Not even one stadium is like that. Maybe Indira Gandhi Stadium or one of the indoor stadiums in Delhi, or one or two in South India, as we can say, but we cannot compare it at that level. To reach to that level, we have to make our games very strong, make our players, make our team very strong, where when those teams are very strong and they're associated with NBA, a lot of sponsors and a lot of people will associate with us to get to a level where we can create that kind of environment and get those kind of Staples Center facilities or that look or that so-called glamour, where people can come and the rotation of revenues and monies will happen, because that will be business created when you give that kind of quality platform for the audience to come and watch it. Now today, if you see on the 4th and the 5th, correct me if I'm wrong, 4th and the 5th of October last year, NBA came to India, and we showed the game but there was a limited audience coming in because there was only in Bombay. There were people who came from across across India to watch the game. But those kind of facilities which you saw there, which was given for the in the stadium, is not even 1/4 of what we have seen across US, and we've been traveling. I just want to be honest, because in sports I believe that we should be honest and truthful to what we have and what we don't have, so that we can keep working towards it, right? So today we have the facilities. I will tell you guys, I look like this right now, and I'm this Bollywood actress and all of it and things, but I come from a very underprivileged state. I come from a small place in Bihar where girls don't dream of becoming actors or sports girls also. So the credit today is to my mother, wherever I am today. The credit is to my family that I could reach, and I am capable enough and to come right in front of all of you, and you gave me the opportunity to even talk and share my experience with all of you, and all of it. So when when I was hearing I think Khushvinder Sharma sir, that all of they're going to go to interior part of states and villages to look for good players from there. I totally resonate with it, because even though I am from Patna, I remember as a kid I used to play with girls coming from the remote parts of these state, very small places, and they used to really play well. And I used to think that at that level, how will they get the shoes or facility of having the same kind of nutrition and everything? And this question is to Khushvinder Sharma sir, which I just wanted to ask, since this is also a part of Jayashankar sir, I can ask, right? If you allow me, I can hear you.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah. Over to Kushi. Yeah.
So I wanted to say, I was asking Khushvinder sir, isn't it a part of social cause which you are, this should be a part of social cause, and there should be a lot of big companies, and Sandeep Marwa would agree with me, there would be a lot of companies who can come with CSR budgets to stand with these kind of kids and girls for training them in certain skills which could be their future, and they can have this kind of prospect. So isn't it that we can work towards CSR money from all these huge companies which they keep for all these causes? Yeah,
Neetu, you're absolutely right. But before we approach them, I wanted to add some data. How many people are playing for UP team, how many are attending India camp, and how many have gone to which colleges. My target is another 7-8 years. Most of my girls will be studying in Stephen, Hindu, SRCC. So that once I have those figures with me, it will be much easier to tell them that look how I started and what I have done. So till now we are managing with our funds. It's not much a problem. Locals are very nice. Parents are very cooperative. Initially for 2 years they were like not cooperating at all. But once the girls started going out playing for UP, one of the girls became the captain for UP team. Now people have started after 5 years to make them accept me. For first 5 years they had no trust on me. They said this joker is coming. I don't know why he's coming, but no, I kept going every weekend. Rain, whatever, weather, heat, I kept going. But now,
first of all, hats off to your persistent, attitude towards it, because only a sportsman can do this. And I always believe in this initial stage of whoever has played at a high level in the initial stage of their careers, their lives, whatever careers they choose, they are going to be, they will surely excel, because never giving up attitude and persistence and sincerity, responsibility, all of it comes from sports. And, hats off to all of us who are literally sitting here, because we are all love basketball, and this is the kind of persistence nature we come from. But, coming back to you again, so you are doing it in UP only or more places? Only
Sorry?
UP. Are you doing?
It is better to focus on one area, develop it, so that girls can reach somewhere. So
my question.
So we are doing around 8-9 villages.
Yeah, but you are only doing in one state. But I was also looking at more people doing in different states, and how you can, like NBA says, coach the coaches. So we can also identify more people from different states to follow your module, and at the same time, when till 5 years you have done all of it, and maybe till 5 years of your experience could be shared with them, so that this can be followed in different parts of the state, country also, different states also. And for that, I think we all will be able to identify and figure out different companies where they can come up with that CSR money, which I'm talking about, for other states on your model, which you have created for last 5 years. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's a valid point.
Wonderful.
And Kushi, as I said, keep up the good work, and you are the role model. And IBPA, one of the objectives of IBPA is to promote basketball on the grassroots level.
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है आपसे नीतू, क्योंकि आप भी बिहार से आते हो और बिहार में बास्केटबॉल उतना डेवलप नहीं है, और अगर बात करें तो बिहार में आप बास्केटबॉल को डेवलप करने के लिए किस तरीके से कुछ इनिशिएटिव है जिसके साथ आप जुड़ना चाहते हैं, साथ ही साथ एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री कितना बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले कर रहा है बास्केटबॉल को डेवलप करने, क्योंकि हमने देखा है कि एक एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री के लोग, जैसे अभी बॉम्बे में स्ट्रीट बॉल हुआ, तो मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री कितना इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले कर रहा है बास्केटबॉल को डेवलप करने में.
See, thank you for the question, Lakshmikant. I have been talking to a lot of people in Bihar from, if you remember, from Panda sir to Sanjeev Dhari and all of people, when I was like little kid, they used to be this rock stars of basketball at that time. So I've been talking to them to have, league and basketball games and all. And I if I'm not wrong, last year there was a junior nationals there at the, things were happening. But as far as the entertainment industry is concerned, with sports, basketball or any other sport, I think it plays a very important role, because because luckily we have followers who listen to us because they trust what we say, especially when you come from a sports background. So I totally believe that, if you promote in a very positive way, you promote and tell them what is required and what is not required, I think entertainment industry will play a very important role in promoting basketball altogether, and amplifying the needs of it and the situation which it is in right now.
Thank you so much. And now 15 minutes to go. We are closing at 6:30. So 15 minutes, the Q&A session. I'm sure the Thiru wants to have a question. Can we have Thiru? Please, Lakshmikant, you take care of
yes.
unmuting him. Can we have Thiru?
Yes, we have Thiru. I've unmuted him.
Hi. Okay. Good evening. So my questions, a couple of questions is like, what are we doing grassroots? I mean, what is the right age to bring the grasses inside.
The question to whom, please? Panelists, you can.
Someone, we had this NBA coach.
Yeah.
Tamika.
Yeah. The next question I was about to ask is, a lot of universities in Chennai are giving a lot of money to academies and associations, like things. But we talk about money, but when the money comes, money by the top creamy of these associations, they misuse it. So where is the trust? You talk about CSR funding. Why should CSR first of all come? What do we give? Are we transparent enough? So that's a part that needs to be learned all these years, because we always kept saying we have to bring in the money. Basketball is first a sport, then a business.
Sir, please keep your question small, so it's better. Everyone is going to get a chance. Tamika,
I'm doing something called sports science research and innovations, and I'm trying to bring in a lot of things. My question is specifically for Ms. Apporva. You talk about visualization. So, do we have visualization in US in basketball? In what form? And grassroots in what form? Thank you.
Apporva, please.
Like I said, so basketball has been exposed to kids at a very young age here, not just playing, but also watching the game, right? If there's going to be an NBA game, I'm pretty sure every little kid is going to sit down and watch the game. The more you watch, the better you're going to get, and the better exposure you're going to get. Your interest level is going to increase. It's not just about knowing about the game. And also, I feel that a kid here tends to play 2 or 3 different kind of sports. So he or she gets very athletic at a very young age, whereas we probably get, our kids get exposed to one sport and they pick up just that sport and they try to, I'm not saying that's wrong, but when you have, different exposure to different sports, the wear and tear of your muscle is different. You use different muscles for basketball, different muscles for, football, different muscles for volleyball. So you'll be strong. So when you're focusing on grassroots, you have to expose them to different sport at a very young level, and then that, I think, will definitely play a very important role in developing an athlete in any level.
The thing is, when you introduce different games to the grassroots, what sort of competency mapping or skill assessment is done to say whether he or she can pick up a particular sport? That's the part I'm talking about. Right.
That's his and her level of interest in what sport he or she wants to continue. You can. Whatever the
talking about.
What do you mean visualization? I can sit in a room and visualize that I want to play a certain level. I can be, as a coach, I can see
connection रुक रहा है, थोड़ा सा connection
accordingly.
Thank you, Thiru, for the question. And Coach Pavi wants to talk.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll bring Sandeep ji will bring you in. Yeah, Coach Pavi, please unmute yourself and put the question. And
Good evening, everyone. I see a lot of my dad's friend and colleagues out here. So happy to be here, and it's a really honor.
Please. We are running.
I have a question with Coach Tamika. Right. Coach Tamika, I just wanted a piece of advice from you for the players, wherein a coach phrases at times to develop. Some players are stuck to the mentality of learning the old way. So some players are used to the old coaches. So wherever there's something new introduced to them, it takes a lot of time for them to adjust to it, because the mindset is such wherein they're not ready to adapt to it. So what is your take on that? Like, what would you suggest, or how should we deal with such players?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Just a really quick answer for that. We coach different teams every year, so I see a new group of kids that come in, and the big thing is learning how they learn. And that could be, if you need to teach them very quickly, have them run through it, As far as physically run through it, have them write it on a board so they see the new stuff. And then if you can tape them doing it, then make them watch it. So now you attack all three ways that they can learn, which will penetrate a lot more because some of them have to write it down, some of them have to do it, some of them have to see themselves do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you
Mr.
so much.
Menon, Mr. Marwa, I have a question.
Unmute it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I don't have a question. I have a small suggestion. Just to take the organization one step ahead, the whole basketball game, I think you need to have a little more support from media. And I have a humble submission. Then probably I would love to offer you my radio and television station. Whatever you are doing, please send me the films, recorded films for that, so that we can highlight all actions on television. And I would love to interview you all one by one again for radio station, so that many people can get involved with basketball.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Marwa.
Thank you so much. And there are two hands on the screen. One is from Sanchi Bagde. Sanchi Bagde, please unmute yourself. Quick question. Introduce yourself and quick question.
Hello everyone, my name is Sanchi Bagade and I have a question for Tamika ma'am. I live in Oman and I'm 13 years old. I want to join the WNBA in USA. So how can I go about it?
She's 13 years old, Tamika.
Yeah.
Unmute. No. Okay, fine. Tamika, you mute. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Very quick answer. Keep working hard on every part of your game. You have to dribble the ball really well. You have to shoot really well. You have to be a really good defender, and you have to be able to make people around you better. So when if you have to do drills by yourself, you go and pass against the wall. You work on your ball handling, get someone to rebound so you can shoot, play one-on-one against boys your age or a little bit younger. That will get you a lot better. So just keep working and keep dreaming big.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanchi, for asking. And we have one more hand. That is
Mr.
from
Mike
Krishna.
Vessel.
Is here from login in this coach thing. That is Krishna. Unmute her.
Krishna.
Yeah, she's there.
Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you are audible.
So my question is to all the panelists present. Usually in the normal days, the athlete is always thinking about what we done, what is going to be the new training session, the areas in which they need to strengthen, and also they're plotting the development graph. But now the lockdown has hit, and each and every athlete are now facing mental challenges. Like they're in a sense, they have no sense of hope, and they literally want to give up. So you as coaches, what are the points that you will that will help them during this crisis? So my question is to all the panelists.
I think Tamika, you can take this question, because this question is from my daughter, Krishna. I hope you recognize her. She's sitting on the top and throwing questions.
That was not unnecessary.
Okay.
So are you asking that just the mental part of the game, like people want to push through, or they're getting tired of it?
Yes. During this time, yes.
Yes, that's one of the hardest parts, but that's one of the parts that gets you to the next level. That's what makes people who are really good, and then people who are great. That's the difference. They push past the mental lacking of all that. So my advice to you is, even if you read a book, you have to go listen to someone with a lot of inspiration, with a leader in India, just someone to get you going. That's what makes people who are really good become great, because they can push through that mental block. So that's what I do. Try to find some way to get inspired. Link yourself to a coach who inspires you to play, and just keep it moving. Sometimes I read a book or a quote.
Thank you.
Mr. Mike Vessel has question.
Okay, yourself. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Mike Russell, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself.
We have 5 more minutes.
Yes. Mr. Russell, you are unmuted.
Before Mr. Russell comes, I would like to just give Krishna the answer. We were discussing about visualization. Mr. Thiru was talking about visualization. Apporva was trying to just give some visualization. It's nothing but psycho-cybernetics. And if you are able to just get the book, or if you are able to just go through the YouTube thing, you'll be able to visualize that you're training, and you can just build strength. And in fact, this is a training which we normally give it to the sportsman, psycho-cybernetics. You can try that.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have our Vice President of IBPA, Mr. Sandeep Bola is with us. Now he produces the sports infrastructure, one of the leading in India. Sandeep, can we have your quick talk on today's evening process? So unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi everyone. This is Sandeep Bola. I have been playing basketball in my college days and a few years after that. And since then, I'm into manufacturing of basketball equipment and the basketball floorings as well. So I'm always, Jay is a good friend of mine. We have played together up to national level. Kushi is there. So many my senior and junior colleagues. So my help is always there. As far as any equipment is required, any modernization in any field or any innovative idea, I can always be a help to you. And yes, as rightly suggested by Mr. Sandeep, sorry, I'll just take just one more minute. As rightly suggested by Mr. Sandeep and all the legendary people are sitting here, Sandeep has suggested very nice thing that if we have to promote the game, then we have to capture media, and Sandeep is a very good help, and that's a very good suggestion. I would be looking towards that if we could do something on the radio or TV media to take the help of them.
Thank you, Sandeep. Yeah, over to
Thank you very much, all of you.
We can have a series of programs.
Yeah, we have 3 more minutes to go. Hurry up.
Yes.
We heard.
Anyone for Q&A?
Anyone is going.
Okay, over to Bala for the sum up of today's program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jay. In fact, it was very nice, a good evening that we discussed at length. Tamika was able to just give her the exposure with Indian basketball, women basketball. And the dream world, 2 people were there, Neetu and Sandeep Marwa. And thank you so much for everybody's discussion on strength, speed, and other issues which we have discussed, particularly bringing the talent from the rural, what the human service being done by Mr. Kushi. And everybody is talking about the game of basketball, which is really the second fastest game in the world. Playing basketball or any game, you really will not be procrastinate. And particularly the game which has this fastest skill, within 3 seconds and 5 seconds and 7 seconds, you have to just take decision, will really make you a very good administrator. And I'm able to just see many of you are shining well in your professional career. And as rightly said by Neetu and supported by Mr. Marwa, the CSR funds have to just flow in, and the corporates have to just chip in their efforts. And media should really project this game, basketball, to just reach the next level. And all the more, we need to just get the support, and we are already getting the support of all the federations, Indian Basketball Federation, the associations, and IBPA or Indian basketball fans are only to just help the federations to just come up and then develop the game to the next level. We are not a parallel government. We are not trying to just grab the powers of everybody. We are here to just promote the game, and we are going to continue to have this conclaves, video conclaves. Maybe next we'll be having only for officials, referees, or maybe only for coaches. Could be something different, and we would like to be creative, and we expect and we invite the suggestions from everybody. And we have a group in Facebook, IBPA Facebook, where we share a lot of basketball stuff. You can just participate, share your thing, and let's all grow and be safe. And I would like to just ask Jay to just conclude the evening session.
Yeah, thank you so much, and especially it's our thanks to Tamika. We can see your son or daughter, and thank you, Neetu, and thank you each one of you for making today's evening. Thank you, Sandeep Bawa, for the support extended. Thank you, Lakshmikant of Indian basketball fans, who's promoting our program. Thank you, one and all, and we will have further many programs. Next one we are planning to have only for the basketball players who are abroad, who are in abroad. We may have it maybe in short thing we will announce. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.
Yes, sir. Before completing this session, There is one question from Mike Russell. So can we?
Please.
Mike, please go ahead.
Okay. I was trying to clarify a little bit what Krishna was saying. She was saying in this time of the coronavirus where you are on lockdown, you're unable to go outside, and basketball is one of those team sports that you need. Most of the times you need somebody else to work with. Not like track and field where it's individual. So what can you do in terms of getting the kids active during this time? I don't think that question was answered.
Do you mind if I answer that question for you?
Yeah, go ahead. You're in the panel.
There are so many other ways. I know it's a team sport, but your individual skill can be developed in a very limited space. To be honest, you can work on your ball handling skills, your speed and agility, just given in a square feet. I don't even. We do have a lot of access on the internet where you can actually look into videos just at home and work on the skill that you want to develop. Right? I know, and it's an outdoor sport. I know you have to have a lot more space to play the game, and you have to have teammates, but individually you can get better, so that unless and until the lockdown gets a little relaxed, you can get better as a person. You can educate yourself more, not just about the game, on an overall spectrum.
Yeah, Mr. Russell, you can just visit to the YouTube and then go to the body movement, natural movement exercises.